Good morning, good evening, good day, good night, wherever you are in the world. I am Tim, back once again for the Speed Force Racing GP2 series this week for the Portuguese Grand Prix. And as always, I am with my co-commentator, Oliver. How are you doing today?
Well, I already woke up a few hours ago after a long nap, but it was necessary for GP2, and looking forward to it today. We've still got this great championship battle on our hands.
Oliver, I sympathize with you there. I too just woke up recently from a very long nap that was most needed, but now we are here and ready to go for the Portuguese Grand Prix. We do have a few new drivers racing with us tonight, though. In fact, Martin has been promoted to GP2 starting tonight. So congratulations to Martin on his promotion.
I mean, well done to him. He deserved it. He raced well with us in GP3. Now he's got the big time shot in GP2. And it's good to see him here, and it's nice to see Sky Adams is one of the Ferrari reserving for GP3 as well, so yeah, looks like a very good, strong field out there today.
Yeah, we do have a few reserves in the field as well. Tom Goproff, Rogue Smithy, TMF Faisal, and Sky Adams, as you said, Oliver. All of those are reserving along with Martin, who, to my knowledge, seems to have the full-time ride in the Red Bull now.
Congratulations to him. He deserved it. Like, once again, Martin, the Flying Scotsman, as ever, he's going to be taking on the big boys here in GP2, the second division in SFR, the second fastest division in SFR, and pretty much one of the most entertainment divisions. But what about this championship fight, Tim, with Cara Rob, Timo, and who's that other driver? I'm trying to think of what his name is now. What's his name? I'm trying to think. I lost my train of thought, Tim. I have literally lost my train of thought.
Well, no worries, Oliver. We will find your train of thought for you as we switch gears and try to recap what happened last week at Monza. And what a fantastic race, a strange race, a chaotic race, insert all of the above type of race we saw last week that saw Carwin Robb take the victory in the Haas, which is his fourth victory this season. Of course, still comfortably leading the point standings with 197 points over Max Iris's 132. Now, Max Iris...
Oh, that's the one.
Okay, there you go.
See, I've lost my train of thought. They brought it back to me. Thank you.
I told you we would find it. But we found it indeed. So Max Iris was the other driver that you were thinking of. It's, well, you know, Oliver, I like Star Wars. Did I accidentally do the Obi-Wan trick on you? These are not the drivers you're looking for.
Funny.
Looks like we're about to arrive at the F1 paddock. Just a slight delay in the schedule today. I assume to make sure that all of our new drivers can get in without issue. So now that that has worked out, we will join the paddock. But as I said, Carwin Robb still leads the points over Max Iris and Chain Game Wow, who broke through with a surprising second place and is now third in the points. 3 points over Morris, who has 100. Morris, of course, one of the very, very many DNFs that we saw in what seemed to be 5 or 6 safety cars last week in Monza. I don't think it was quite that many, but there were a lot.
I mean, Monza, it was let's just say a very chaotic race, let's just say the least. It was not even a race, it's more of the Formula 1 GP2 parade. So that happened, but hopefully Portimao will give us something different. First time GP2 is debuting here. One of 2 races that's going to be held here in this game before we move over to F1 2022. With the new gen cars and everything else, and we're not going to be able to see this track again. We're going to have to make the most of our 2 visits here, Tim, because this is the first time we'll be visiting this place, and the second time this will be our final race here in Portugal. So we'll make the most of it. We'll definitely make the most of this great circuit.
Now, I thought that they were trying to get this circuit on the schedule, maybe not permanently, but just more often. I felt like I heard about that.
It's a very good circuit. It's Portimao. It's got great elevation change. The corners are very nice and flowing, especially that second sector. The second sector is very, very interesting to say the least. Very challenging, but that due to the undulation change and everything else, I really do like the track. I really have a big love for the circuit. It's a good track. Very, very good circuit.
And looks like we got a few drivers now going out onto the track for their out laps. The Ferrari, is it Sky Adams or is it Tom Goproff? Both of them actually reserves today, so that's interesting. Both drivers have reserves, and it is a red car out there. Can't quite tell which Ferrari it is. It is Tom Goproff. Here we go. So Tom Goproff, the first driver out. Looks like that might be an Alfa Romeo that went out behind him. It is. That is Rogue Smithy.
We're going to get an idea, Tim. We both raced here for the past 2 days. And let's just say, Tim, you had a very, let's say, a chaotic race in GP5, to say the least.
I mean, it wasn't that chaotic, but just barely missed out on the points. Got a time penalty there at the end that I tried to get removed. The stewards did remove it. However, I still did miss out on the points just barely. So, unfortunately, walking away with Portimao without any points to show for it. Personally, I do not like this track. I think that it should be launched into the sun, but that's just my opinion.
I mean, I do. You have your opinion, I have mine. In my opinion, I like the circuit. It's a very nice circuit. It's a very different, to say the least. And I mean, when I raced here in GP3, I qualified third in qualifying because we had a wet qualifying. We had an all inters qualified third. I was racing for the victory, but unfortunately, the second stint, well, the first stint, nearly cut to the end of my first stint, bit me in the backside, and I spun it, and I only finished in 10th place in the end, and yeah, time penalties and all. So I'm not too fast. It was a fantastic race though at GP3, one of the best I've ever seen. Just a load of drivers fighting away, side-by-side action and all. I really thoroughly enjoyed GP3, and I really hope it really continues, because that was one of the great races I ever been a part of. So GG's GP3, that was one hell of a show.
This corner right here, there's a dip right about where Sky Adams went through. Somehow he made it through that corner almost perfectly, but there is a dip in that corner just as you're going uphill that will spin you no matter what. It doesn't matter what speed you're going at. If you hit it wrong, you're going to spin. That was my absolute nemesis on Monday. And this track in general, it's very hard to get the power down, and it feels like you can attack the corners when really you need to be backing the corners up by about 5 miles just to make them, at least that's what it feels like. They tell you need to get a rhythm, and you can find a rhythm, sure, but it's finding it that I found the biggest difficulty around this circuit. But Tom Goproff, a 117.367, a decent lap out.
I just got news from the weather crew that you call it, Tim, and the drivers are saying that it's going to be a rainy race. It's going to be rain late on in the race, so we've got to get dry to wet, Tim. That's what we got for the race today.
Well, then, that is going to make things just that much more interesting. I kind of wish I had a wet race on Monday. Maybe it would have went a little bit differently. But yeah, good job from the weather crew there for being able to let us know. Big thank you. Not sure who told us, but big thank you to that there. And I just want to get into the race, Oliver.
It's by a good lad called Charlie Smith, who Calvin goes pole. Charlie Smith. No, he's not my brother. He just says Smith. He's put in rain race later on, so big shout out to you, Charlie Smith. And Member Strike says, how are the commentators today? He's asking us, how are we feeling today? I'm good after a good long night shift.
Oh, I would hope that you're wide awake, Oliver. I'd hope that both of us are wide awake, because like we said, we both sort of just woke up very recently, and now we're deciding to be here and, watch this, qualifying. I was going to say the race. The race is next.
Oh, Timo invalidated. Timo has invalidated on the second to the last corner. Tim, I just found out that Trench has returned. Karen Rob's teammate has returned. Trench is here. I did not realise that. Trench is here.
Just saw his name myself, Oliver. EVG Trench. So a little bit of a different name change. You all might have known him as TRT Trench, but it is EVG Trench now. But still in the Haas, still Carmen Rob's teammate, and still going to go out there and try to get the best result as possible. Of course, Haas in the constructor standings, they have been stellar this season. Carmen Robb, as we said, leading the point standing, so it should come as no surprise to you that Haas is as well. 267 points over Red Bull's 182. It looks like Haas has scored the most points in a Grand Prix 5 times this season so far.
I mean, Haas this season in GP2, they've been absolutely stellar. I mean, what they've done is their consistency, and look at that. Martin, on his debut in GP2, he's just gone straight up to second place. Good lap by Martin. Very good lap.
So let's take a look at Carwin Robb now, last week's winner in that Haas, since we were talking about them. Carwin Robb looks like that he is in the second sector, about to enter the third and final sector.
I love this corner. That's my favorite corner of the circuit, that one.
Oliver, I envy your emotions and your feelings toward this track, because I cannot. The good lads that are the admins and owners of the Speed Force Racing League will not let me use the words I would like to use to describe my feelings for this track. So I'll just leave it at that. But as you know me, it's not. They're not positive results, but I'd say that Carwin Robb has some positive thoughts for this track, because it is a 117.104 for the
And look
Haas
what time he's been on doing that lap as well. That's fantastic from Carwin Robb.
And that's probably going to be a key point in this race, Oliver. As you rightly pointed out, he's on the medium tire, and he is going to have a good starting spot. Now, he is likely going to be dropping a little bit as we have 11 minutes remaining, but if he can set that kind of lap on the medium tire, who knows, maybe he could go out for an extra lap before the qualifying ends, or maybe that lap is going to be good enough to still keep him in the top 10.
I mean, what Carl Robb is showing, Tim, no matter what tire you're on, what matter what car you're in, he's just down to driving style, and he's got a very good input, very good driving racing line, braking point, turning, and the setup of the car he must have put on as well. Whatever he's put on that car is working well for him. That Haas looks very well tied into the circuit.
So Cassidy in the Alpine.
Oh, Andreas has gone off. Andreas has gone off. And that's a heavy shot into the wall with his rear wing back in. I hope that hasn't damaged the rear wing of the car.
And that's the corner I was telling you about, Oliver. I bet that Andreas got the dip in that corner, and it sent him off the track. Some drivers can master that corner very well, others not so much. And apparently Andreas falls into the club that I did. But Cassidy, he's a driver that falls into the club that masters those corners, because he went through there like it was nothing. And he is currently does not have a time on the board, but let's see where he ends up. He's in the third and final sector, rounding the final corner. And as he goes over the crest and crosses the line, Cassidy will end up in 12th place, a 118.444 on the medium tire.
It's turned into a very nice championship fight, Tim, with Carwin Robb, Chain Game. Maxwitz is not here tonight, so he will not be scoring any points today. And there's Timo as well, and Morris. If Carwin Robb just has a very bad day, the GP2 will definitely be very interesting, to say the least, after this Grand Prix is done.
Personally, I think that with Max Iris not being here today and not being here to score points, that he has virtually given the championship to Carwin Robb. Because Carwin Robb has 197 points, Max Iris has 132. I can't do the math off the top of my head right now, but that is a significant margin. If Carwin Robb scores 3 points today, he will be 100 points over Morris, assuming Morris doesn't score any points at all. And if he scores...
Morris needs a good result today. He needs a hell of a result today, because he said he wants that win, so just to get that monkey off the back. He wants that win, and he needs it badly, because if he wants to win the championship fight, he needs to start getting those wins in. So, him and that Mercedes, it needs to be so dialed in today, and strategy and everything else. And Trent has got traffic in front of him. That looks like Rogue Smithy, and there's another car in there. There's another car, don't know what it was, but Trent did have traffic. This is Carwin Robb's teammate, of course, has been very, very consistent himself for the Haas team. Let's see what Trench can do to him.
So over the crest, and he crosses the line, and Trench will go to 60,
very nice
117.505. I almost wonder if that track might have held him up a little bit, and that maybe he could have went a little bit quicker.
Yeah, if he got a little bit held up.
Oh my goodness, and then he clips a curb and spins into the grass. So those tires are not going to like him. Thankfully, he got into the grass fairly quickly as he slid, so not too much damage on those tires, but definitely going to have to look after them on his way back to the pits.
There's another thing that this track needs to be as well, that needs to keep in mind for the drivers, is fuel consumption and ERS. This track will eat ERS and eats fuel. And right now, ERS saving is going to be a big thing around here. And fuel saving needs to be a big key mount going into the race today. Timo goes into 5th, but not anymore, because he just went down to 6th place. Because Sonic Hawk is just, I think Sonic Hawk just went up to 3rd place. Good lap for Sonic Hawk there.
Sonic, another driver that really does need a good result. However, last week's race, after becoming a war of attrition. Oh, Chengen, wow.
Just got into 3rd. The Dutchman has gone up there now.
117.137 for Chengen, wow, just a few thousandths of a second quicker than Sonic Hawk's 117.142. So looking for someone on a lap. Looks like Tom Goproff is on a lap in the Ferrari. He invalidated a lap earlier on, so he had to pull into the pits, get a fresh set of softs, and now he's back out. Got to be very careful to not invalidate there. Oh, but he did. That corner is tricky, Oliver. Sometimes you can get away with it, sometimes you can't, and obviously...
In my mind, that's one of the hardest corners of the circuit, because you think about it, it's uphill. Then you got the crest, which makes the car so light. When you're on that crest, the rear wheels will not want to cope. It needs to be so controlled of the power, so controlled for the gears, so controlled in the steering, just to keep the car even straight through turn 4. That's a really hard corner to do.
So Sky Adams in the Ferrari, he's about to set a lap. Let's see if he can improve on his current time as he crosses the line, and he goes to 3rd quickest, a 117.111.
Well, the GP3 fellas, Scott Adams has put up something to the top 3. Nicely done. Martin's on a lap to him. He's absolutely flying at the moment.
So Martin's already got 1 lap on those tires, though, surprisingly. So wondering why he's decided to stay out and go for another one. I mean,
well, he said purple sectors, so why not?
Well, I guess so. One thing I have found, though, about this track is that the soft tires are really not going to work that well. They're, what my race engineer described as just a qualifying tire, mainly. And most of my race was run on the medium compound tire. I got a little lucky with the virtual safety cars, but he goes quickest on the soft compound tire, a 116.836. So shut my mouth, lock it up, throw away the key. Don't listen to me. I don't know what I'm talking about. Martin is the one who needs to be in the booth right now because he knows the tire he needs to be on.
16.8, the first driver to get to the 116s. What a lap from Martin. He's put up such a great impression in his full-time debut here in this division.
So good job for Martin. And, honestly, Oliver, I think that could be a lock-in for the pole. I mean, we still got some time left, but that could very well be the not just the provisional pole, but the confirmed pole here in just under 5 minutes.
Morris is on the lap, Tim, on the medium compound in 12th.
So here is that very tricky corner, Oliver. And Morris, he got the diff just a little bit. I don't understand, actually, how he was able to get through there, because you saw the wheel move. You saw the wheel move and bobble, so maybe he's just been able to find his rhythm in that corner and correct the car as it tries to turn you when you get into that dip.
He's pushing it how hard as he can at the moment. He's doing all he can to get this Merc up where it needs to be into the top 10 to get some advantage in that medium compound tyre. Looks like him and Timo, because they've got race engineer in there with Mansell with them. So right now, Morris and Timo being controlled by Mansell's commands. It's going P11 for Morris in the Mercedes. Not enough to get into the top 10 yet.
Looks like we got Cassidy in the Alpine on another lap, but he has invalidated. So Morris, who just completed his lap, as you said, will not improve, and everyone else, it seems, are in the pits except for Gadabo and Andreas, who have came out for their outlaps now. So Gadabo in the McLaren, Andreas in the Aston Martin. Andreas apparently got any damage that he might have sustained from an earlier crash fixed, and now able to start a lap, and in fact, he'll be starting his lap before anyone else, I do believe. So we will watch him as he's through the third sector, just trying to...
Andreas did comment, actually. He said he had rear wing damage when he had that accident, so hopefully that car isn't too banged up as much.
Well, that should be something that they can fix in the garage. Am I correct on that?
I don't know. I never had it before when I had rear wing damage in qualifying, so I wouldn't really know.
Well, regardless, it looks like he is doing okay for now. Wide open DRS down that front straightaway. So we'll ride on board with him for the rest of this lap, and there you see your nemesis, Oliver, the uphill turn 4, and you could see the car get just a tiny bit light, as you were saying, Oliver. He didn't really have to overcorrect it, but you could see that he just had to really take it so easy through that section for about half a second there.
It's like rallying in some way. So if you watch the Finland rally, Tim, I don't know if you did. The cars, they get very, very light over crests because of the change in elevation and the downhill sections as well. When they go over the top of the hill, the suspension goes really light, as Andreas goes very wide. But yeah, the cars get very light. It gets very, let's just say, rear end happy. So good work to Andreas to keep that car under control.
And I'm watching Andrea's wheel inputs here, and look at how much it is bouncing over the curbs. It's like I'm going to assume that he's using a wheel in this instance and that he has got the track effects turned way up as he goes a 117.332. But if you watch, the driver's wheels will do different things on the same curbs because their wheel settings are a little bit different. So that, kind of gives you a little bit of an added adjustment that a driver can do. Some people like a lot of force feedback. Some people like a little force feedback.
Yeah, that's to the comfortability. That's what it is. Just down to the actual comfortability as of right now, and how much it will input as one. Martin's qualifying is finished. He's just invalidated in pole, so that's his qualifying done.
Watching Chain Game Wow at the moment. This is going to be his final lap, more than likely, and all the traffic is trying to get out of his way as best as they can, but it is a big gaggle here in this third sector in Chain Game Wow. He will now have a clear track ahead of him all the way to the start-finish line. Let's see if he's able to improve his best time so far, a 117.137. Chain Game Wow over the crest, crosses the line, and he goes to third, a 117.046.
Good lap there from Chain Game Wow. Carmen Robb has now started his lap in the Haas, so he's going to try and push on for pole. And so is Timo. He starts his lap. Morris has started his lap. Well, I don't think Morris is going to make it, Tim, because I think he's running out of time. What's the time? I don't know what the time. No, Morris doesn't make it. His qualifying is done. He'll not be improving, Tim. Morris is out of qualifying.
So no better than 12th can Morris do in the race today, at least for the starting position, but it's still a long race to go. Who knows where he can end up at the end of it. Watching Carwin Robb go through the second sector. This will be his final lap. He's trying to go for pole. His best lap, a 117.104 at the moment. He has got to beat a 116.8 set by Martin. Let's see if he's able to do it. Goes very wide there. Invalidates his lap. Carwin Robb will not be your pole sitter today.
Watching Timo now, he's got traffic in front of him as well with Rogue Smithy right in front of him. He gets out of the way very well. Now Timo's going to uphill into this left hairpin turn, very snappy on the wheel. He was getting all types of oversteer, and now he's going to give this Mercedes everything has gone now towards the final turn.
Oh, he got so lucky to not invalidate there. That was razor thin margin that he had there. Timo up the hill here, crosses the line. He goes to second, a 116.908 for Timo.
Timo is back, baby.
I've been saying it for the past 2 weeks, Oliver. He should have been racing with us earlier in the season.
Wow, what a lap for Timo. But well done to Martin, his first pole in GP2 on his debut. Well done to him.
Not just a congratulations on the promotion today for Martin, but what a fantastic result for him. Maybe he can follow it up in the race, but your official starting lineup for the Speed Force Racing GP2 Series Portuguese Grand Prix is Martin on the pole, Timo in second, third is Calvin, Chain Game Wow in fourth, Carbon Rob in fifth, Sky Adams in sixth, Sonicock in seventh, TMP Faisal in ninth, and then Andreas in eighth, Andreas in ninth, Macaulay in 10th, Tom Goproff in 11th, 12th is Trench Morris in 13th, 14th is Rogue Smithy, Gadabo in 15th, Cassidy in the 16th position.
And look at the tyre that Colin Rob will be starting on, Tim. It's that medium compound tyre, so don't forget we have got rain later in the race, so that medium top compound, Tim, will definitely be paying dividends whenever this race could be coming.
I think that might, if it was a dry race the whole way, then him starting fifth on the medium tire is the best thing that he could have asked for. Now, with the rain coming, as you said, it could very well pay dividends in the race, but it also depends on when they are able to... When the rain comes, I just noticed the driver, unfortunately, did ready up a little bit quickly there. So we are going to start this race a little bit sooner than we anticipated. So very quickly, we need to get our top 3 predictions in any order. Mine are going to be Martin, Timo, and Carmen Robb. We're going for the 3 safe choices today.
I'm going to go for Timo, Carwin, and Martin.
Timo, Carwin, and Martin?
Yep.
We have our same picks, Oliver, so let's see if anyone in the chat wants to challenge us on that. Of course, your only winnings are bragging rights, so just going to throw that out there now.
Let's see what tires they got on, Tim. What the tires these drivers are selected. Interesting choices.
Everyone on the medium tires outside of the top 10, the only driver in the medium tires inside the top 10 is Carmen Robb. That's because he set his fastest time, a 1:17.1 on those medium tires.
This makes me feel so good for Martin, Tim. Debut in GP2, absolute stonker in GP3, debuts in Red Bull, pole position. This must feel really good for him at the moment.
I'm sure he feels either really good or really, really nervous, because if he messes this start up, then it is 5th place for him, 10th place for him, maybe 16th place for him, who knows. But if he's able to keep his cool on this start and get out ahead of these guys...
Don't forget, Tim, Timo wants redemption after Monza. You know he was not happy after Monza, because he knows his race winning streak ended. He's going to try and start another one today.
Yeah, could have been the only driver this season so far to win 4 races in a row. Timo, unfortunately, was not able to do that. So we have, I believe, 2 or 3 drivers that have had the honor of winning 3 races in a row this season, but that is as far as they've been able to do. In fact, yes, only 2 drivers this season have won 3 races in a row. That is Max Cyrus and Timo. So even Carwin Robb, your leader, has not won 3 races in a row. He's won 2 in a row. He has gotten 4 podiums in a row, but he has not won 4 races in a row. Not even won 3 races in a row. But it doesn't matter how many you win in a row, as long as you have the most points at the end of the season.
Here we go, Tim. They're all yours.
And the drivers finding their appropriate positions on the grid, and we are waiting, and we are ready. The anxiety is kicking in. But here we go. Momentarily, you hear those engines revving. You hear those itchy pedal feet. The drivers watching the lights. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights in the air. No red lights. We are green for the Speed Force Racing GP2 Series Portuguese Grand Prix. And Martin on the start. He got a bad start. So going into turn number 1, already Timo challenging hard. Side by side behind him. Alpha Tauri versus the Williams chain game. Wow. Being very aggressive. And who was that? A Ferrari. The Ferrari went off very quickly. That was Sky Adams. And it is carnage. Carnage in the back.
Sky Adams is out. Sky Adams is out. But look at this. This is 3 wide going into the turn 5 corner.
And Carmen Robb, he is out. He's not out, but he's down in 13th place. Meanwhile, as you said, 3 wide, and we are under a virtual safety car. So
wow, wow.
So Carmen Robb, he's not out of the race. I will clarify, he is not out, but he did crash. He does not have a front wing on the front of that Haas car. He's going to have to pull into the pits and get that fixed. That was a chaotic start. Not sure what happened. It looked like Sky Adams got turned across the track one way or another, and it just caused a chain reaction from there.
Look at that. Chen Gaywell got the advantage of the virtual safety car, and now he's leading the Grand Prix. Martin in 2nd, Timo 3rd, Calvin 4th. But wow, that's not a good start for Carmen Robb. All the way down in 13th place. And that made a compound. Oh, Rogue Smithy drive through. Oh, no! Oh, no!
Oh, and someone's spinning. Someone is spinning. That is Andreas, I think, maybe? No, someone spun, no.
No, that was front wing damage, to say the least.
Oh, and it's 3 wide with a few Williams and Aston Martins and everyone going into the pits. Oh, my goodness, what was that? What was that? That kind of gap going into the pits. This is an insane race already. So
We're
Trench
on
has
lap
somehow
two.
made his way up into third. Tom Goproff, a reserve today, is in second. Martin leading the race once again. Cassidy up in fourth. He started in 16th, and Cassidy is in fourth after just one lap. Morris in fifth place, Gadabo in sixth. Pretty much every driver that started on the medium tire almost is in the top 5-6 right now.
I mean, to say the least, that was a chaotic Demolition Derby start.
Monza was clean compared to what we're seeing today. But Cassidy just got a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. You saw him on your screen go a little bit wide there. So first time penalty of the day goes to the Alpine driver of Cassidy.
And look where Morris is, Tim, after a poor start, took the advantage of all the chaos, and now he's in P5. This is going to be really good for Morris. If he can stay there, with current Robin problems, he can really, really show up today and actually get a result that he needs today.
Yeah, and Morris, he does have a chance to gain on Carwin Robb. Of course, the most points that Morris can walk away from in this session is, I do believe, 26 points. So that would require a win and the fastest lap. So Carwin Robb being in 13th place, even if Morris were to win and get the fastest lap, he would have 125 points to Carwin Robb's 197. Mathematically, Morris is still very much in this fight. But realistically, he seems as though he has lost his confidence and lost his, his own motivation to go after it because he's so far back. And to be fair, I understand where he's coming from completely. So he is now just focused on wins. He told us that, Oliver, that he just wants to go out there and win. But imagine if he is somehow able to go on a nice winning streak, 1, 2, 3 races in a row, and Carwin Robb hypothetically has bad races in all of them, then we could see a closer title fight than what we thought.
I mean, and don't forget Chen Game-Wel's in that fight as well. Where is Chen Game? He's in 8th place at the moment, so... Oh my word, what a chaotic start that was. I mean, that was nasty. Oh, Andres, what was that? Versailles has gone off. And the Aston Martin's now gone back onto the track, which is good to see. So the top 5 is been led by Martins, 2.6 ahead of Tom Goproff, who's making a reserve drive today. Trench is in there. Good to see Trench up there, Tim, for the Haas team, because this will be good constructors' points for Trench and the Haas team.
And he's the only Haas driver at the moment that is scoring points if the race were to end at this very moment.
Oh, we've got an overtake coming, Tim. Morris on Cassidy.
And will he be able to get the move done by the time they get to turn 1? It's going to be a little close, but I think that Morris might just have him, and he does. He clears him going into turn 1. A fantastic job by Morris. Cassidy gives him enough room. So now they all continue without incident, which is saying something after seeing what we just saw.
Good job from Morris. Now he is going to try and come after Trench now. There's 3 tenths behind him. About 2 tenths. Is it enough? No. Timo fastest lap. Good luck there for Timo.
So now Morris is working on Trench, trying to get into that podium position. And so far, he's just biding his time, being very patient here. Let's see how they both navigate this corner. Little bit of a wiggle there from Trench, just maybe. And that was that dip that I was talking to you about. You could just see the car sort of move, but I almost think that Trench has mastered that corner as well.
This is my favorite corner of the circuit. It reminds me of Malaysia. Just braking and turning at the same time. It's such a satisfying corner to do. Really love that corner.
When you get it right, it's satisfying. I can definitely attest to that. Problem was, I just never could seem to get it right.
I sense an overtake, Tim.
It might happen here. He got Cassidy going down into turn number 1. Oh, he's got to be very careful there. That might have been a warning for him.
Here comes Morris.
And Morris underneath of Trench and gets the move done very easily. So good job to Morris. Moves into the 3rd position. Now he's got 2.8 seconds before he can catch that Ferrari ahead of him.
So Morris now 2.9 behind Tom Goproff. Now he's going to make some work with the clean air he's got now. And look at, where did Trent? Oh yeah, Trent was, of course. Sorry. Timo, another fastest lap. Really burning the lap times in. And he's got to be careful because those tyres will last around 12 to 13 laps, so Timo's got to be careful of the tyre wear, but he's absolutely flying at the moment.
So there is Timo in the Mercedes. He has got 7.7 seconds to catch Chain Game. Wow, Rogue Smithy, though, 3.2 seconds behind him. So at least Timo has got a little bit of breathing room out the back before he can, before he has to start worrying about another competitor. Now, Calvin Racing, he's one of those drivers that really just got the raw end of the stick here. He started around the 3rd, 4th position, and now he's found his way all the way back into 10th. He's on the medium compound tire, so he's already...
I didn't realize, Tim. Tom GoProf is in the lead now.
Oh, my goodness. So what happened there? So something must have happened to Martin, and now Tom GoProf
Something must have happened, yeah. Because look, even Morris has even closed up to him. He's talking about in DRS range.
So perhaps Martin had an off on the racetrack, and that is what allowed Tom GoProf to go around him. So now 2 seconds separates Martin and Tom GoProf, as Morris is within a second of Martin's car. I don't believe he had the DRS down the front straightaway, but the next DRS zone, if he's able to stay this close, he should be able to have it. And in fact, here's the DRS zone down here, but Morris is just 1.1 seconds away from him, so he will not have the DRS this time. Martin looks like he's finally getting the car back underneath him, so he's able to continue to move forward and keep this car on track. But I'd definitely love to know what happened to him.
We can ask him after the race if he does finish on the podium. We have to ask him what happened. So yeah, I can see that tip you're on about it. It's got like a slight oh, I'm trying to think what it's called now. There's that like sort of degree of banking in some ways. It does unsettle the car in some ways. I can see what you mean now with that tip in the corner.
And it was my nemesis on Monday, Oliver. It was a corner that I just could not navigate. It didn't matter how much I practiced or how much I tried a different line. I just simply could not figure out how to do that corner. And if it wasn't for that corner, I might like this track. But I just think of that corner and I'm like, no, I don't want to drive this track again. I mean, maybe I shouldn't say that. I feel like I almost didn't give Portimao enough of a chance as I needed to, because
you got one more chance to come around to this track, Tim, so don't worry. You got one more chance coming to this track next season.
Yeah, you are right. As you were saying, SFR will return to Portimao, so that is good at least. And who knows? Maybe I'll end up winning it. I would love that.
The way you're going, Tim, you're definitely showing some signs of pace in GP5, so don't doubt yourself too much.
Now, a lot of that has to do with my teammate and my race engineer, Gazalodian and Smoke, respectively. Smoke, he helps us out, and he's able to, he keeps me calm. I know that's very important, and he's able to help get Gazalodian with his strategies. And Gazalodian, some of you may remember him from racing in GP4 the past few seasons. He dropped down to GP5 this season, and I was partnered with him. And, it turns out he is just a stand-up guy. I had never talked to him before being partnered with him as a teammate, and he's just an awesome person, and he's got fantastic pace going for him. So I'm glad to see him being able to do well, and I just want to be able to score points and be a good teammate for him.
So the gaps are starting to spread out now. The closest fight at the moment is Kyle and Rob and Calvin for 10th of the length at the moment.
Yeah, Calvin, he's just struggled all season long. He's a driver that definitely has pace, but just cannot seem to be there at the end when he needs to be to get those points positions that he needs and those podiums that he needs, as we saw Macaulay and Trench both getting a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings.
So Calvin's closing out to Rogue Smithy as well, so right now the gaps are pretty evenly spread out. Morris is starting to slightly close in again at Marta because the 7 laps on softs are starting to slightly burn a little bit now, and they're just starting to give it some life. But right now it's all looking good for Martin, and he's started into this race at the moment. Look at this, I think Calvin's going to have a little look at Rogue Smithy.
Rogue Smithy.
Did he get the move done? No.
Yeah, Rogue Smithy doing very aggressive on the defending there, going very, very low onto the racetrack and then very, very high onto the racetrack, but somehow still able to stay ahead of Calvin. But that might not be the case for long if he keeps doing moves like that. Let's see what he's able to do. Oh, and there was that dip, Oliver. Calvin was able to correct it, though. What a fantastic move. And Rogue Smithy just still moving everywhere on the track.
Rogue Smith's got to be careful not to create for causing a major accident with all this moving about. He needs to be really careful, because if Calvin's alongside him, then that's going to be one hell of a collision coming towards him. Look at this, Calvin's going for a move. Good move for Calvin. Good move. Caught Rogue Smithy sleeping.
Maybe a little bit of contact there, but good move from him. And Rogue Smithy, when he realized that Calvin was there, gave him the room. Oh, some contact there between Rogue Smithy and Carwin Robb. Carwin trying to get in front of him, but Rogue Smithy just not letting him have it.
3 wide. Oh, this is going to be so close. Oh. Can Carwin Robb and Calvin can just like try not to hit each other? No, Carwin Robb gets through. No, Calvin's still on the inside of him. And looks like Carwin Robb has got through. Good move.
So 3-car battle here. Rogue Smithy still has one out, and he is in 9th place. Carwin Robb in 10th. Calvin Racing in 11th.
Wow. Says a lot, don't it?
But now Carwin Robb, he's going to be chasing down Rogue Smithy once again. Let's see if he's going to be able to get through him. We're watching from Calvin's onboard. At the moment, he's got the best view of this
Morris on Martin for second. He's going to go down the inside and gets the move done. Morris has got really good pace today. He's in 2nd place now.
So Morris moves into 2nd, Martin down to 3rd, and now Carwin Robb moves into 9th around Rogue Smithy, but is he going to be able to keep it? Yes, he does, but now it's Calvin and Rogue Smithy that are fighting it out hard. There you see Calvin out the back of Rogue Smithy's car, and will he be able to pass him going into turn number 1? We have seen moves being made in turn number 1 all day long, but there goes Calvin, but you see the distance that Rogue Smithy is putting between him, so Calvin just will not be able to do it. Rogue Smithy goes into the grass, tries to pass Carwin Robb. Look at that. Wow, and Rogue Smithy jumps the curb, though, and then loses the spot once again. Now goes back underneath. A nice fight, some contact, and Rogue Smithy spins.
Too aggressive for Rogue Smithy there. That was not very good driving from him. He was way too aggressive. Yes, he went onto the grass. Went onto the grass, and then after that, he went onto the jumps the curb. He tried to claim the place back, and the door was always good. It's like a window was always going to close, and unfortunately, the end result is the end result. But Tim, I think the clouds are coming in. I think we got rain coming.
Riding on board with Calvin, and you are correct, Oliver. I think I'm just starting to see a few drizzles on the screen. So the rain is here. The question is, when are these drivers going to pit for tires? You mentioned that it might be now, but it looks like the Aston Martin of Faisal went on the soft tire. So the soft tire is not going to be a viable option here in about 2 or 3 laps around this circuit. Now, I will tell you this, Oliver, is earlier this season, not for SFR, but for an additional league that I commentate for, we actually ran an entire race in the wet on dry compound tires. How it worked that way, I do not know. No one understood what was happening, but I think it was at Belgium. It rained at Belgium, but it was a rain that was light enough to where it just did not cause the drivers to pit for intermediate tires. Some drivers even tried it, and it didn't work. So I'm almost wondering, are we going to see a repeat of that? I know you weren't there, Oliver, but it was just insane, is the only word I can describe for it.
I mean, that's the thing, isn't it? I look at Rogue Smith, he's gambled early. He's onto the enters already. Rogue Smith, he's gambled already.
And maybe it'll work for him. I think that at this point he really has nothing to lose. He was not going to score points after that moment with Carwin Robb. After Rogue Smithy spun, he was just too far back to be able to catch him. I mean,
he's feeling it already. He's just span it in turn 1.
Yeah, so maybe a little bit too early there for Rogue Smithy. Now, you say that he was a bit too aggressive, and I do have to agree with you when he made that move that he was being a little too aggressive. But if he'd have been able to dial it down, if that was 100%, if he'd have maybe just stuck it at like 80%, then I think that we could have had a good battle that would still be going on.
Oh, true point. Very true point.
But, you know,
Martin's
Rogue Smithy,
still keeping the pressure. Martin's still keeping the pressure on Morris. Still trying.
Oh, you are correct on that. Actually, just 0.4 of a second behind Morris for that second position. Morris just slowly working his way up. Of course, we saw him overtake Trench for the 3rd position earlier on in the race, and now he has overtaken Martin just a few laps ago for 2nd. The thing is, he can't seem to catch Tom Goproff in that Ferrari. It's 5.2 seconds separating these two drivers. Tom Goproff, of course, as we've said, a reserve driver for today, and what a fantastic feeling that would be for him to win as a reserve, because he wouldn't get credited with the points.
This is his first race, isn't it, Tim?
I think so. So even though he wouldn't be credited with the points, he would still have 1 win in SFR, correct? Like, he would officially have 1 win in SFR.
Look at that rain, Tim. It's getting heavier, isn't it? I think the drivers will probably come in within the next 3 laps to change into intermediates. It's not into conditions yet. But I feel like it's going to be around next 3 laps before the inters really start to come into play.
And Morris lost a little bit of ground to Martin there. Martin was able to gain on him, and he's got a DRS zone here, so maybe Martin will be able to make a move, but it's not going to happen. You heard the beep, though, so the DRS is still active despite it raining. And here goes Martin looking underneath of Morris, but not able to do anything with it. He's going to have to just ride behind him for a while and try to find another opportunity to pass. There's only 2 DRS zones around this entire race course, so that really limits the places that you can pass at.
The cars are really moving around now. The track is getting wetter. So, what do you think, Tim? Do you think lap possibly 15 maybe before the DRS becomes disabled?
I think so, Oliver, but I don't know. Tell us a little bit about I don't know. Tell us a little bit about what it's like racing from a dry to wet transition.
It's hard. It's difficult because you'd have to time the actual gratitude of the rain really supremely well. Look at this, Martin's gambling. Martin is gambling already because we've got a safety car out. Safety car is out. That's possibly for Rogue Smithy's DNF. All the drivers are coming in for their intermediate compound tyres. Everyone's coming in. So the safety car is out. So we got Martin coming in on the intermediate compound. We got Trench coming in for inters, Cassidy for inters. Everyone is coming in for intermediate tyres. Apart from Morris and Tom GoPro, they got past the pit when that happened. So unfortunately, they got to do another lap with those compound tyres. Timo is coming in for intermediates as well. Chain Gate's in. Oh, it's going to be chaos in the pits.
But Oliver, I don't think that Tom GoProf and Morris are at a big disadvantage because, look, they have 25 seconds over Martin at the moment. So I do believe that, what is it, about 20 to 25 seconds that you are going to lose in the pits under the green flag conditions. So with that gap, Tom GoProf and Morris should still be our first and second place drivers once we go back green from this safety car. But, you know, unfortunately for Rogue Smithy, that he had a moment there with Carbon Rob to where he was, forced the issue a little bit too much, was a little bit too aggressive and spun. And then he tried to gamble, go on to an intermediate tire a little bit early, and it would have been a good gamble had it paid off. But unfortunately, it just was not quite the right time. So he had another mistake and brought out the safety car.
Yeah, precisely right. And Tom GoProf is in now. Morris will be the next car. Martin's just approaching the final 4 corners, so yeah, you're possibly right, Tim. These two will be comfortably ahead of Martin.
So Morris is in now, obviously. Tom GoProf has already pulled away, but this safety car, this is probably the best thing for Morris. He's going to be right on the back of that Ferrari when we go green, and he will be ready to pounce. When we go back green, we will have about 15 laps remaining, give or take, and that will maybe give Morris just enough time to stick with Tom GoProf, get out ahead of everyone else as they already have, and get around him. But of course, it doesn't matter if you win by an inch or a mile. A win's a win.
Indeed so. And Morris, like he said to me, he said he wants a win. He cannot be in a good position to do so. But Martin, I cannot be very more impressed with him, and Tom GoProf as well. Those two have really impressed me right now underneath their first races here in GP2, which has been a fantastic day for the both of them. And Timo only down in 8th place, Chingate Wan in 7th, and then you got Colin Robin 9th. So through the championship contenders, 7th, 8th, and 9th. That's really interesting to see there.
So it looks like somebody got a puncture.
That's Charlie Smith. I think that's Rogue Smithy, I think. Yes, it is. I think that's Rogue Smithy. He got a puncture. Oh dear.
Unfortunate there for Rogue Smithy. So at least now we know what happened there that caused him to spin off as much as that he did, is that there was a puncture in the tire, and obviously that resulted in a DNF. So very unfortunate circumstance for Rogue Smithy.
So we did to lap 15, and we were both right, Tim.
I guess so. However, it's kind of looking like our picks are not going to be the ones that finish in the top 3. Because
true.
I do believe we picked Timo, Carmen, Rob, and Martin in any order. Both of us did, and Martin's the only one up there right now.
Well, since we're underneath safety cars, Tim, we can talk a little about something else. The F1 games in general, Tim, they're improving every single year. We both know that. The game itself is, I can say with the multiplayer side of things, it still has its if and doubts. But as Faisal retired in the pitch, it's really unfortunate. But the NASCAR games the NASCAR games as well, Tim, they're still falling behind, would you say the least, Tim? I saw gameplay of the new NASCAR Ignition game. It's not really taking to my appeal.
Falling behind is way too generous, Oliver. All right, I'll put it to you this way. F1 2021 is the most beautiful, luxurious cruise ship that you can think of. And
WRC is another as well. That's improving a lot as well.
Huh?
WRC is improving a lot as well in their game cycle.
Now that I wouldn't know. I don't even watch gameplay of that or play those. But if F1 21 is the most luxurious and beautiful cruise ship that you can think of, then NASCAR Heat Ignition is the rock that you dropped off of that cruise ship and it sank to the bottom of the ocean.
Yeah, that's pretty much a great analogy for it. I saw gameplay of it, and it looks so disappointing. It looks so glitch. It's got many bugs with it. It's got, like, I don't know, it's got things going on with it which I don't really understand.
There are not even stages in the game. That's the problem. And, you know, whether you love them or hate them, the reality is that in modern-day NASCAR, it is stage racing. So if you're going to make a modern-day NASCAR game, it needs to reflect modern-day NASCAR, and that's just what they have not done. So, you know, I think all of us have complained about EA and Codemasters a lot over the years, over these F1 games. And I'm even going to go as far as saying that some of those complaints, you know, were most definitely called for. However, they have a better product than the NASCAR games do at this moment, and probably always will, at least for the foreseeable future. So for that, I can honestly say thank you, Codemasters.
Now imagine Codemasters actually built a NASCAR game, Tim. I know it's a British company, it's Codemasters, we all know that. But imagine they built a NASCAR game for NASCAR. Now, would have made sense?
If they put the time and resources that they do into the F1 games, I think that they could come out with a better product.
Would it feel like a NASCAR game that you actually want to buy?
I'm withholding my opinion on that. Anymore, I don't trust NASCAR games because it's just been, you know, year after year of a very disappointing product. So the main thing here is I just wait for the games to come out. I watch gameplay and make my decision from there. And as we've been talking about, I definitely won't be buying the NASCAR 21 Ignition. But I've obviously bought F1 2021. So you know where my preference lies.
Yes, very, very true.
I love our safety car banter, though, Oliver. Like, we had so much to talk about last week for some reason, and now it's this week we have the first safety car.
Yeah, we talked about the Olympics and everything else.
I mean, there's really not that much else to talk about under the safety cars because, I mean, yeah, we can just tell you that everyone's went on intermediate tires about 50 times, but I think after 2 or 3 times, everyone kind of gets the point there.
Well, we get to find out who's one of our good race wet drivers. Now we're into these wet intermediate conditions. Who's going to be really a really good wet driver? Because we don't normally have wet races in GP2. It's mostly for dry. But the safety car is coming in this lap, Tim. Here we go. Lap 17 out 33. All yours.
And Tom Goproff is going to be that control car. The field goes only when he says so, unless they reach the start-finish line first. Of course, I've never seen that happen. I've never seen a driver actually wait that long in these races. So Tom Goproff, he'll go whenever he pleases as soon as that safety car pulls off. And here we go. We'll watch the start from on board of Morris, because Morris has got the best view of him. And look at that. He got a pretty good start, but Morris made sure to keep fairly close with him. So Tom Goproff did not catch him sleeping, but here comes Trench making a move on Martin in the Red Bull going into turn number 1. Maybe some contact, just a little bit, but somehow Martin and Trench both get away fairly unscathed.
Oh, look at that. Oh, Gadabo went too deep and Chain Game Wow going down the inside. Oh, that was Cassidy going all out of shape there. But look at, oh, Chain Game Wow was so close to Gadabo's car, but it's okay for now. Still down the inside. Can he get the move done? Chain Game Wow. Still side by side between the two of them. I think Gadabo just got him in the end. Yes, he has. Good defending from Gadabo. Chain Game Wow still not giving up, though. Go on, Chain Game.
And really, Chain Game probably had the... Gadabo gets loose right there in that corner, and he gets Chain Game a little bit. Chain Game goes off the track briefly, but he saves it. He only loses one spot, and that was to the Mercedes that we were watching up Timo. Timo in 7th place now after getting by Chain Game, trying to work his way past Gadabo. Meanwhile, Chain Game Wow is starting to drop back a little bit more, staying in the 8th position, but he really got swallowed. Oh, and who was that went off? That was maybe Macaulay or Calvin that went off the track just now?
I think that might be, I think that was Sonic Hawk, I believe. Yeah, Sonic Hawk.
So Sonic Hawk in the Alpine. Yes, you are correct.
Look at Timo. He's absolutely flying Tim in these conditions.
Someone in the chat, they said that it was going to be the Timo show. Looks like that they were correct, at least for now, because there goes Timo trying to make the move around Gadabo. I'm sure that he has got the overtake activated. Of course, no DRS in the rainy conditions for obvious reasons, but it doesn't matter because Timo got the move done without it.
Well, this could be Timo's big shot, Tim, to actually claim some points back in the championship fight. He said he's going to be off for the championship fight, and he's not joking. He really wants these big points today to be back in the podium and the championship fight with it.
It would be a Nico Rosberg-esque comeback if he were able to win the championship after being, at the moment, going into this race, he is over 100 points behind Carmen Robb, which is just an astounding difference. So if Timo was somehow able to overcome that and win the championship at season's end, that would definitely be a Rosberg-esque comeback.
Definitely true. Look at that, Trench and Martin. They're fighting it out. Cassidy is just right behind him, and Timo's coming up behind him as well. So we got a big fight for the podium, Tim. It's going to be getting really spicy.
And when you add on to the fact that you have got cars slipping and sliding around, just watching them, some of these guys just cannot keep these cars straight out of the corners, and for obvious reason. I mean, it is raining, so that's just going to add a new layer of difficulty that Timo has to overcome to get into this potential podium spot. Now, one thing that we need to address is that there are time penalties ahead of Timo. There you see 6 seconds for Trench and 3 seconds for Cassidy. So if the race were to end right now, Timo would still finish in 4th. But you know very well he is going to be going for that 3rd place position if he thinks that he has even half a chance to get it.
Well, don't forget, Tim, we still got Morris and Tom Goproff. Both of them could make a very bad mistake, and then the win for Timo could be very much on the cards. And look at this, the guy who crashed out today, Tim, has joined us in the party. Hello, Rogue Smithy.
Hello. Yeah, it's a shame, obviously, but I mean, it's my first race back. I'm not honestly surprised.
Look at the weather, Tim. It's getting heavier now. It's getting a lot heavier.
Watching it is full wet. It's full wet now.
So, Rogue Smithy, tell us a little bit about your race, because we saw you. You were having a pretty good
Tim, we
battle.
got a move going. Timo is going around the outside. Oh, Cassidy, and he's trying to go into 5th place. Oh,
Cassidy spins. Cassidy has spun. He is off the track now, trying to get it corrected. Meanwhile, it's Carmen Robb who's moving up into 7th now. Timo into 5th. Chain Game Wow into 6th. And Calvin racing back there in 8th.
Wow, Timo's flying at the moment, Tim. But look at Martin. He's all over the back of Morris. And Trench is there as well. This race, Tim, is getting a lot more tasty. My taste buds is going through the roof.
Well, you know what, Oliver? You might just need to get some new taste buds at this point, because it's going to get even more spicy here, because it is lap 21 of 33, and we still have 12 laps to go.
Yeah.
So
what happened in your race then, Rogue? What happened?
There was a load of debris around.
Contact between Martin and Morris. Sorry, Rogue Smithy, but there was contact between Martin and Morris. I thought for a moment that Martin was going off the track, not able to or he was able to save it, but not able to make the move on Morris, rather. So now Morris holds on to second, but only just, as Martin still tries to give a nice battle for him here. And will he be able to make another move before they get to turn number 1, or is that just going to have to be the best chance that he has to wait for it? And it looks like Morris is just, he is struggling in the wet weather.
Tom Goprov's got no problems, Tim, at the moment, hasn't he?
Tom Goproff, he is just gone. I'm almost wondering if he needs to be a GP1 driver. He is
fast.
Fast.
Listen, Trent has gone past Martin for 3rd place. Trent is into 3rd now. Oh, but Martin's still there.
Yeah, on my race, there was a load of debris around. Oh, sorry.
Look at this, Trent. Oh, Trent has got staying out. All the drivers are coming into the pit, including the both with the Mercs. No, so Timo's staying out because Morris came in first. They're all wets.
The Mercedes are communicating, I know that. Earlier before the race, Timo left my party with him to go talk to his teammate. I'm guessing for the strategy, so yeah. Anyway, on my race, yeah, there's a load of, if you have a look where we're around like Esparso and Cork and that, and Cadobo are now, there was loads of debris. My car just picked up a bit of puncture, and I didn't notice it because I was focusing on the race, and it just spun me off at this corner. Yeah.
Well, better luck next time for Imola, Roadsmithy, because that's a very good track to come back on.
Yeah, I love Imola. I've been practicing a lot. I didn't get much practice for Portugal, but I mean, I didn't expect to get, like, I'll be fighting with Rob and I think it was Calvin. Yeah, Rob, I think he turned in on me, in my opinion, but that's just my opinion. So we'll see what
Save the cars out, Tim. This is beneficial for the top guys, Tim.
So what happened to bring the safety car out?
Cassidy's lost his front wing.
Oh no!
Yeah. Yeah, he's so far back now, so you can tell.
Well, to Timo, it's actually a chance to get back on the win streak again.
Yes, Timo! Yeah, sorry.
So Timo
Look at
is
that,
second
Tim.
place.
Both of the Haas guys are staying out.
And, you know, that is strange. I find that very strange because it's like we have half the field on the wet tires now and then half of them on the intermediates. And as you pointed out with the Haas guys staying out, apparently they feel like the intermediate is the way to go.
Calvin and Sonic are on the meetings as well still.
Oh, they are as well. They are, yes. So maybe they don't feel it's still wet enough yet.
I guess at some point there is a fine line to where it becomes driver preference, but with that same logic, there becomes a point to where it's a point of no return, and you either have to be on the intermediates or the wets, otherwise the race is going to suffer.
News: Timo's overcutted Morris because of the safety car. He's now at the lead Mercedes.
Oh,
and he's
yeah,
in pretty much in second position.
Yeah, that's the safety car probably. And yeah, Timo knows his strategy. So does Morris, and they've probably communicated that. And well, not communicated the fact that there's a safety car. That was just Cassidy that caused that. That's probably what it done.
So, do you think this is going to be a good result for Mercedes if they stay like this, barring any other spins and other incidents?
Yeah, Timo knows the track. I've done earlier today. I did some wet weather racing with them in Portugal, just because that's what you do, isn't it? You're going to prepare for all strategies. And yeah, he didn't spin it once on the full wets. Then it changed to inters, didn't spin it once, soft.
Yeah, that's it. Timo has to spin it once. Listen to that.
I mean, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised. Timo, he seems to be a driver that he performs well under pressure, as we've seen. You know, he jumps in here and he gets 3 wins in a row and follows it up with a decent result last week. Not exactly the best, not the 4 wins in a row that he was wanting, but Timo, nonetheless, he has been a driver that seems to prevail. You know, he is the cooler head that seems to prevail, so maybe that'll be the case today.
So Tim, what's your prediction now then, going into towards the end of lap 33? What do you think your prediction is going to be?
Well, I'm going to assume that the safety car will be coming in this lap, which will give us about 10 laps or so of 9-10 laps of racing left. So with only 5 drivers on the intermediate tires, even if the full wets are 100% the way to go, it is going to be a pretty difficult task for Tom Goproff, Timo, Morris, Chain Game Wow, Martin, these guys to really work their way through 5 cars unless those 5 cars just somehow spin off in the Red Sea parts for them. So I think that we're going to see Trench and Carwin Robb probably get out ahead of everybody and put on a nice, decent gap between the two. And then if the full wets come in and they become the preferred tire, then we might see a nice little dash to the finish, because I think that if it goes green from here on out, unless the conditions just get absolutely torrential, that Trench and Carwin Robb, they have made their bed. They have to stay on the intermediate tires if they want a chance at points. It's just how it is.
Yeah, I'd just like to add something. Cassidy, he is, unless he catches up to the field, the safety car will not be in this lap. It's just, to be fair, even if it's so close we saw in Hungary, eventually someone caught up at the very, very end, just as the safety car was about to come in, and I messed up my restart because of that.
So, right now, Rogue Smithy, what do you think that the result's going to be? Do you think the Haas guys can hold on with the time penalties that they have?
Oh, Godobbo!
Oh no, Godobbo! Oh no, Godobbo! Oh, he was running in 5th place! Oh no!
Yeah, mate, that proves that the Inters are not the tyre, proves that the wets are the right tyre to go for now.
Well, there you go, Tinian. That sums up your answer for what the conditions are like for the tyres.
Well, then Carwin Robb and Trench, they better hope that they can somehow hang on to that car.
And Calvin and Sonic Hawk as well.
Sonic, you know, in there,
Oh!
Sonic Hawk, he's up there. That's a good result. What happened, Rob?
Timo just nearly spun it. Final
You
corner.
be careful, Timo. You don't want to drop any more points in the championship fight.
Yeah, I feel like Timo, he was, in my first ever race with him, it was just a friendly little race with a few drivers. All of them, apart from one, were all in this league, just not in GP2. He absolutely blitzed us, and it was quite funny. I've always known he was a quick driver, and I always expect him to be consistent. And the first competitive race I had with him, he lapped me before I crashed.
Oh goodness.
So, yeah, Monza in the wet does not go well with curbs. Let's just say that.
A lot of drivers really don't like what they did with Monza either, because they changed the curbs in turn 1 and 2. So I'm starting to think that maybe Monza doesn't work well with curbs at all.
No, it doesn't this year. It doesn't.
I think it makes it more realistic in some ways. If you want to talk about Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen, that incident with the orange curb, I think in my mind it needed to be done to make it a lot more realistic. I see what they've done, because the anti-cutting curbs, the orange ones, the orange curb is the anti-cutting curb. So I can see the reason why they've done that. It's to stop the drivers cutting. So I can understand the logic though.
Yeah, same. Yeah, that's all I'm gonna say. It's a shame that I missed Monza, because I could have had my first points if I had just stayed in.
Here we go, Tim. It's all your safety cars coming in for the 4 guys in the top 4 on Inters. This could be really interesting.
And this one,
Just some info: the Haas will back up the pack so much. Cameron Robb, all the safety car restarts I've had with him, he's just backed them up so far. I'm guessing EVG Trench will do the same.
or maybe Carwin Robb backs up the rest of the pack to help Trench out, because they are teammates, obviously. So going for the championships, not just in the drivers but the constructors standings as well. Let's see what happens here. And remember, Trench is the control car, so he gets to choose when he goes, and he gets to wait as long as he wants to until they get to that start finish line. And Trench has decided to go now, and Carwin Robb follows him. And it's going to be a big scuffle going into turn number 1. It's side by side between Calvin and Sonic Hawk, or Tom Propp and Calvin actually back there. Sonic Hawk is already dropping down and took out part of the
look at Timo!
And Timo! Some contact! Calvin's going off the track. He's dropping down to 5th place, 6th place now.
Timo! What a fantastic move! He made 3 places in 1 corner!
Yeah, GoProf got hit by Calvin Racing, who swiped across him, guessing from the outside of the track, and he just completely swiped across him.
Look at Timo. Tim is all over Carwin Robb's car now.
And he's going to try the crossover move. He's underneath him, and here goes Timo. Rogue Smithy, you were right. You hit the nail on the head there. That the wet tires were definitely the way to go. And there goes Timo sailing away from Carwin Robb. Now he's just going to have to pick off Trench. But here's the thing. If the race were to end right now, Timo would still win, because Trench has got time penalties. Carwin Robb has got time penalties. Tom Goproff has got time penalties behind him as well. So Timo is really sitting pretty here these last final laps.
What's the time penalty saying? I need to have a look at what the time penalties are saying. Oh my goodness, there you go. 6 seconds for Trench, 3 seconds for Kari, 3 seconds for GoProf. Wow, that's a lot of time penalties given out. And Cassie's got another.
Cassidy. Yeah.
And here goes Timo. He thought about making a move around Trench, but was not able to do it. So they're going to have to race down the front straightaway, maybe make that move into turn number 1. Trench somehow finding a little bit of speed on these intermediate tires, but it is waning very quickly. 12 laps versus 3 laps on the full wets, and Timo trying to use the slipstream as much as he can. He gained a lot on him, but when they get to turn number 1, it's still going to be Trench ahead.
And it comes Calvin on the back of Chain Game. This is for 6th place, but looks like Calvin. Oh, Chain Game got really sneaky, and Calvin sneaks through, and there's Cassie down the inside as well. This is a good little scrap. This. Oh, Cassidy! Oh dear.
He got swiped.
Big time.
Yeah.
And it's so much easier to spin when you get swiped like that in the wet conditions for obvious reasons, because there's a severe lack of grip on the track. So that just really did not play into Cassidy's hands whatsoever.
Nah, not really. Not really. But Timo's using all the grip in the world from the wet compound tires all over Trench, but he doesn't really need to fight it because he's got the advantage of the time penalties. So if you're using Timo's shoes, Miffy, do you think you want to fight Trench or you don't want to?
I would fight it, honestly. You want to pull out a gap as much as possible just in case you get a penalty yourself, because it's very easy to just slip wide in the wet conditions and get a 3-second penalty. So team will want to avoid that and probably overtake him, especially with the dirty air as well in the spray. You don't want to be behind that.
Side by side, and Morris gets into 7th place. Not anymore, yes, and Chegame's still fighting back. This is a good little fight here, Tim.
And Morris is going to try that crossover move, not able to do anything with it. Oh, Chegame, wow, goes very wide. Oh, and we got a 4-car battle here, 4-car battle. We got Cassidy in the Alpine. It's 4 wide down the front straightaway, almost as they go into turn number 1. Gadabo behind them. Chain Game, wow, gets into the back, maybe if Morris, and Gadabo goes around the outside, making up 2 spots, but then gets a 3-second time penalty, obviously, for multiple warnings. Somehow Cassidy is up into 7th place ahead of these guys, and then it is Morris in 8th, Chain Game, wow, in 9th, Gadabo in 10th.
Todd GoPro and Sonic Hawk going side by side. And Sonic Hawk goes into 4th place now.
Sonic Hawk having the race of his life today. You know, running in 4th. We've talked about him all season long. He needs a good result. He seems to have some pace. We know he's got skill, but he just doesn't have the luck.
Oh, Gadabo down the inside, and Gadabo gets Chain Game for 9th place. This midfield fight's still going. Wow.
I think it might be Inters now, looking at the track. There's less puddles than it was at the restart, so it might be Inters.
You might be right, because look, Trench is getting away, and Cara Rob's getting Timo again.
Yeah, may I ask what happened at the start? Because all I saw was a Ferrari off, and Rob without a front wing. And Timo, ooh!
How the bloody hell did he catch that? I do not know.
It's Timo, that's what you're expecting.
And now it is Carwin Robb and Timo that are fighting side by side. Sorry, guys, I thought that we were still stuck on another battle. Oh my goodness, some contact between Timo and Carwin Robb once again. Carwin Robb gets ahead of him. Whoa! Timo gonna try to sit it underneath him, does the crossover move, does he get it done? Yes, he does, but then he loses it again.
Ah!
Right, but Timo's still got the advantage of the time penalties, so if the Haas guys can get away as fast as they can, they still got the advantage of the time penalties. Tresh needs about 6 seconds ahead of Timo, and Carwin Robb needs a 3-second gap to Timo. So right now, Timo's still advantage Timo, but Trench needs another 2 seconds to get ahead of Timo.
Oh, Django Mile in the pits.
Now, yeah, Oliver, here is something that you might not have noticed. Sonic Hawk in 4th place back there. He does not have any time penalties. If he can quickly get by Timo and gain on the Haas drivers, he could maybe, it's a small chance, but maybe be standing on the top spot of that podium.
So were the Haas guys correct then, Smithy, to actually stick out on the intermediate tyres? Because this is really paid dividends for them.
Yeah, I didn't get time to have a look at the full race on, well, the full race on weather, but I mean, there's a big one down. There's a few cars going wide, and
Godaba's gone off.
Chain Game Wow, he is actually out of the race now. Chain Game Wow, something's happened to him. Meanwhile, we're still watching the battle between Sonicock and Timo. Sonicock trying to go around the outside of Timo down the front straightaway. As they go into turn number 1, though, it's going to be Timo who somehow has the pace to hold him off. So Timo stays in the third for now, and this has got to be making Sonicock so incredibly angry right now because he knows what's on the line here. If he could just get by the Mercedes and get a little further ahead, he could potentially be looking at a win. He's looking at a podium now, but he wants more than that, and he can't even get into the podium
right now,
position.
they both will not get. Sonicock will not get the podium.
And he got to the back of him. He
victory.
got to the back of him. I think he's got some wing damage now. He does. Oh, he does.
No, he hasn't yet. No, he hasn't. No, he hasn't.
Yeah, you never know with this game about wing damage. I think after my incident with Cara and Rob, my wing got changed. I didn't even know I had damage. So, yeah.
But the thing is, Tim, they're both outside the top spots now. Look, the gap, if you go to switch to the lead of the gap, it's now around 8 seconds. So right now, both of the Haas guys will get the 1-2, regardless of the time penalties.
And Sonicock trying to go around the outside of Timo, really forcing that issue. And there was some contact between Sonicock and Calvin Racing. Calvin, he backed out of it. He allowed Sonicock to correct the car, so there was good sportsmanship there, but that could have ended in disaster for the Alpine. And now there's Calvin Racing. It's going to be a 3 wide. Oh my goodness, it is contact!
Oh no, you can't do that.
Calvin spin. Sonic going
You
into
can't
third
do
place.
that. That's a stupid corner to go side by side.
We'll leave it to the Stewarts. We'll leave it to the Stewarts. We're not
our
good comment.
Remember our freeze from Monday?
Yeah.
It's been noted.
It's been noted.
So Sonicock in third place. After that, Calvin Racing hanging on to fourth. Tom Goproff moves into fifth. Timo in sixth now. Still no time penalties for the Mercedes driver, but it's unfortunate for him. He could have had a podium, and now it's just not going to be the case.
Yeah, it's both Mercedes that don't have penalties.
Yeah, both of them as well. But for Haas, Tim, this is going to be the most incredible result for them because it's another one. It's going to probably be another 1-2 for the Haas team. And their Constructors' Championship is going to be pretty much be plain sailing for them. It's going to be a humongous gap for them.
So Trench in first, Carmen Robin second, Sonicock in third, your top three with Calvin and Tom Goproff, your top five, Timo, Morris, Macaulay, Martin, Cassidy, your top 10, the remaining cars in the race with lap 31 of 33 completed.
Who would have thought this at the end of this race, Tim? Who would have thought?
If I knew that, I wouldn't have ran over the debris. I could have got some points.
Well, you're not. Well, you're down there in 50, so that counts.
Yeah. Well, technically, I finished ahead of someone. Oh.
Timo and Tom Goproff side by side. Good move.
Yeah, contact.
That's not been noted.
Yeah, I just saw the contact. Little drift from Tom Goproff, but that's about it.
Right, we can calm down now.
I think it's the first time we've been able to breathe in the entire race, Oliver. And honestly, you know, for you too, Rogue Smithy, because you were the one having to race it for most of it.
Yeah, I was proper shaking, like on the start, because it's my first race start back, and that probably, yeah, I was shaking the whole race. You should have saw me legs.
What they call time penalty.
Yeah, if you saw me down the back straight, I'll let not the back straight, the main straight, sorry. I'll let Timo through because I saw he was on the softs and he was way quicker than me. So, yeah, I just thought I'd comment on that earlier if you just saw me braking down the straight, so.
So, I'm going to have a look at let's have a look what we've got. Position changes. Oh my, Tim. Trench has made 11 spots in this race. I mean, he's in the lead of the Grand Prix. Oh my.
Now, the sad part about that, Oliver, is that he is not going to be winning this race. The best he can do is second.
I know. That's going to go to Carmen Rob. We're on the last lap.
And what a fantastic recovery by Carmen Rob. All this, of course, barring any catastrophe that happened in the next lap here. But Carmen Rob, he was 13th out of turn 4 on lap 1. And he has fought his way back to second to ride behind his teammate and get a win, overcoming 3 seconds worth of time penalties because his teammate has 6 seconds worth of time penalties. we were talking not 10 laps ago about possibly Morris and Timo gaining on Carwin Robb today. And now, once again, we are talking about Carwin Robb gaining on them in the point standings. They're already
don't forget, Tim, like you said before at the start of the event, there's no Max Cyrus today. He's not racing. Carwin Robb is going to be humongously in the lead. Who's going to stop the Welshman?
And like I said, Max Cyrus not showing up to race today. He virtually gave the championship to Carwin Robb. There's no clinch scenarios happening today, but it is going to be very unlikely for someone to overcome Carwin Robb after today. He should have approximately 220 points, give or take. My math is maybe not exactly correct, but coming out of the final corner and over the crest, Trench in the Haas will win the race on track. But after time penalties, it is going to be Carwin Robb.
No, Trench, it's going to be Trench, it's going to be Trench!
3.4! Trench has won the Grand Prix! Trench won the Grand Prix!
Goodness. Oh my goodness, that was close! Wow!
What on earth? Sonic off the podium!
We couldn't see that!
No, of course not!
And a good catch by you guys, because I did not notice that. It was like, what, right in the final corner, too?
What happened to Carwin Robb there?
Maybe oversteer? Maybe understeer?
Possibly. Oh, you gotta feel bad for Timo, though, guys. He looks so strong in those wet conditions.
So, I stand corrected. It is going to be Trench who wins on track and wins in the standings. Carwin Robb still gains in the standings, but not as much as we thought. He is in second. Sonicok getting his first podium of the season with a third-place finish in the Alpine. He is going to be ecstatic about that. Calvin Racing rebounding to fourth. Timo in fifth. Morris in sixth. Seventh is Tom Goproff. Macaulay in eighth. Ninth is Martin. And Cassidy in 10th.
Wow, what a dramatic race, Tim.
What a dramatic...
It was Sonic Hawk, wasn't it?
Sonic Hawk, yeah.
And Carwin Robb, yeah. Right,
And Trench. Oh,
yeah, I already had it.
Who's going to be driving the day out of this?
I can't add some players. I can't add, I believe it was... Sonic Hawk, because of his settings, so...
I'll add him, though. I'll add him.
Oh, okay.
I got him as a friend.
Oh, friend.
Oh, shut it.
So a stellar race.
That's what Man United's defence should have done.
Shut it!
So a stellar race sees the Haas drivers finish in 1-2, a big gain not just in the driver standings for Carwin Robb, but for Haas as a whole in the constructors. So it is Trench in first, Carwin Robb in second, Sonicok in third, fourth is Calvin Racing, Timo in fifth, sixth is Morris, Tom Goproff in seventh, Macaulay in eighth, ninth is Martin, 10th is Cassidy, Gadabo in 11th, Chain Game Wow in 12th, Andrea's in 13th, 14th is Falsai, and then Rogue Smithy in 15th, who is actually in the booth with us today, and then Sky Adams in the 16th place. Now, while we get the rest of the drivers in, I'm going to let Rogue Smithy give us a nice quick rundown of his race, because he was no stranger to action today. And
before you say that, Tim, can I just say a little something?
Yes.
Sonic!
Hey guys.
Get in there, my G!
Fucking finally, yeah.
Thanks for the swearing.
Yeah, sorry about that, yeah.
Hey,
well done,
you're the boss man, though. It's okay. So I will be back here in maybe 60 seconds. Should just be 60 seconds. And after that, we will commence the interviews. That will give everyone plenty of time to get into the party and get everything ready.
Whew. Wow.
Yeah. Rundown of my race, apparently. Yeah, said.
Yeah, they'll run down your race, yeah.
Yeah, so I started P14 or 15 or 13, can't remember. Not really the best of starts. I've been practicing my starts. But then there was a big accident early, which I did not have a clue how it happened. Honestly. Yeah, there was a big incident. I was ahead of a load of drivers. Timo, he was behind me. I knew he was faster than me. So I let him through. I knew Carwin Robb and Calvin, I think it was, they were behind me. In my opinion, I defended legally to the rules. I don't know if Rob and Calvin thought that. I know Rob's here. Yeah, he can say what he wants. I then went for a dive. Yeah, I mean, in my opinion, I defended to the rules. Calvin's not happy about it, but yeah, I tried my best. I was weaving, break the toe. I only moved once, didn't move into the braking, and I locked up a few times, but then we got them back. Yeah, Rob, in my opinion, he turned in. Don't know if the stewards would think that, but maybe that was just my race. Maybe he didn't see me coming. Yeah, but other than that, it was a shame. I got a puncture and went flying into a barrier, but other than that, well done to all the podium drivers.
So that's it then. So, Tim, are you there still?
Oh yes, I am back. I apologize, gentlemen.
Interviews.
Yes, it is, and you know what? Unfortunately, I cannot even get to the showroom right now, so we're just going to have to do the interviews from the screen that shows us the race results. But that is okay. So, as long as we've got everyone in here, please make sure you've allowed your voice to be shared. If you don't know how to do that, go over to the party settings, click Always Allow, and let me know when you're ready.
I'm ready.
Ready.
All right, so first things first, we will start with our winner of Trench in the Haas. Trench, going into this race, we were talking about how it was nice to see you back in the car, and we did not anticipate that we would be interviewing you from the top spot of the podium at the end of the day. Was this a realistic event that you thought could happen going into this race, or were you just going in there trying to see what you could get?
Yeah, I had no, I don't like Fortune Portimao, so, well, I did like the track, I'm just not good at it, but when I saw the weather as well, wasn't the best, and obviously then qualifying, and then, yeah, but I'll just take it as it comes. I know my race has always been better than my qualifying, so, and then obviously after the first lap, yeah, you just keep on building momentum, and yeah, got the win.
So are you two in communication during the race, you and Carmen Rob both? Are you bouncing strategy off of each other?
Yeah.
I mean, this could be this is a fantastic result for you and Carmen Rob in the constructor standings. You two have gained a massive amount of points on the rest of the field today. How does this feel for Haas? You two in that Haas machine, really gaining points on the rest of the field. Is this going to be whenever it's a matter of time or a matter of when you two will cinch the constructors?
I don't know. We take each race as it comes, I think, me and Colin, but obviously like, the gap is big, and I think we know that. But we just got to keep on going, because you'll never know, do you? A couple of races could have a couple of DNFs, and then it's like... But no, each race as it comes, and we'll just take it from there.
Smith, you've got any other questions for Trench?
No, just well done on the drive.
Thank you.
And but from me, Trench, how do you feel going into Imola?
I don't know, I don't know what to think about Imola. It's going to be, all I'm going to say is I'm expecting safety cars and crashes. That's what I'm expecting.
Are you really looking forward to driving on one of the most legendary tracks of the motor racing calendar?
Yeah, I think qualifying is going to be intense, because I feel quite quick around there when I've done the practice, so I'd like to think I can maybe put myself up there, but I have to see obviously everyone else's pace, and then obviously the race as well. Hopefully I can try and get another podium or at least top 5.
Congratulations, Trench, well done.
Thank you.
Now we will talk to our second place finisher of Carwin Rob, also in the Haas, a 1-2 for the Haas team today. So Carwin Rob, you had a roller coaster of a day, to say the least. You are 13th place out of turn 4 on lap 1. You, within the next 32 laps, you are able to overcome a 3-second time penalty, overcome very hard battles, and on top of that, finish in second place, almost winning. But what happened there at the end when you lost it by just half a second?
Trench is just too fast, isn't he? So, you know.
It's just being too fast, is it?
No, Gene Haas got on the, didn't he? Gene Haas got on the blower and was like, let him win.
Yeah, it was team orders, and I had to obey team orders, so there we go. I could have went for the win, but nah, I would have lost my job.
Oh boy. Well, you're leading the championship standings, and you have pulled away even further after this. So if you're going to lose your job even with that, then I'd hate to work for who you work for.
Yeah, I don't even know what happened today, to be honest. I thought my race was over on lap 1 when I smacked the wall. But then, I don't know, I just didn't give up. And I knew that the rain was coming. Thanks to Trench, I'd say I'm in P2 because he told me to stay out on the Inters. And if I didn't, then who knows where I'd be.
Yeah, what made you guys decide that? Both of the Hats guys, what made you decide that you need to stay out on the Inter tyres than rather go to the wets?
Should I take it, Cole? As you follow me.
Nah, I think we give credit to Jeff, to be fair.
Yeah.
All for Jeff. Jeff.
Yeah, Jeff's the reason.
Oh my god.
I have a question. For Rob. Yeah, obviously. On my moves earlier in the race, do you think I was
I would
at
like
fault?
to interrupt over here. Sorry, I would like to interrupt over here. Please don't discuss incidents over here. Let's go ahead with the driver interviews.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll move on to the third place finisher of Sonic Hawk. Sonic, your first podium. Sonic, your first podium on the season after making the jump from GP4 to GP2. And this has been a long time coming. I know that you were really wanting to get that win, and maybe there for a brief moment it could have happened. But regardless, you're still probably on cloud 9. Just tell us how you feel.
Yeah, first of all, I would like to congratulate Rob and Trench. I think they got a harsh one, which is brilliant. Coming to my race, I honestly thought my race was done on lap 1 when I had that incident with Sky Adams. But yeah, luckily there were safety cars, and with changing conditions, I think it suited my driving a bit. I was able to keep up with the drivers ahead. So it was all about being consistent and not getting too eager on the throttle. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with what we've achieved today. I think even Cassidy has finished in podium, so I think it's been a while since both of us have combinedly finished in points.
There's no denying the facts on it that you had a very tough season in GP2, but is this a big learning curve for you now? Have you changed anything in driving style, setup wise, to try and make you go a little bit faster?
Yeah, I think in GP4 I was concentrating more on my one lap pace. Because once you're ahead, it's easier to navigate through because you can control the pace. You got clean air ahead. But in GP2, I know there are a lot of guys who are going to be around me around the same pace. So I'm focusing more on my race setups than my one lap pace. So if you can see, my quali hasn't been that great in GP2, maybe except the first couple of races. But yeah, after that, I think I've been focusing more on my race setup.
That's what I usually do now in GP3. I don't do quality setups now. I do mostly for race setups. So yeah, we're on along the lane, same length.
Yeah.
So tell us the race itself. When the rain came, did you feel like that you had to go? You say that you were another driver that stayed on the Inters as well. What made you make that decision?
Yeah, so for me it was two things. For me, it was primarily about making up positions because if I had followed the drivers into the pits, I would have still remained P7 or P8. So for me, the first thing it was about covering up as many positions as possible. Next thing, I knew that the safety car would be around for 3 or 4 laps. I think it stood out for 3 laps. So I thought I'll just battle it out for 7 laps, see if I can, hang in there and maybe get a P5 because the drivers ahead of me had time penalties. So I was really looking forward to that and try to stay within that delta. I think I lost too much time with fighting with Timo over there. Otherwise, I think I could have been there with the Haas boys, maybe within 4 or 5 seconds of them.
And how much looking forward to Imola?
I think I've done a couple of laps over there. I have still not got into a rhythm because it's a very new track for me. I've never driven on it, so I'm still trying to memorize the track. I think this week is going to be a tough one. I need to spend maximum practice remembering the track. So as of now, the pace is not looking good, but it's a really fun track. I mean, every corner connects to another corner, and it's a very fun track. So, looking forward to it.
Well done, Sonical. Well done on your maiden podium, buddy. Welcome to GP2's podium.
Cheers, cheers. Thanks a lot, guys.
And with that, that is all the time that we have. But a big thank you to everyone who watched the stream. A big thank you to all the drivers that raced with us. Congratulations to the podium sitters. And with that, good morning, good evening, good day, good night, wherever you are in the world. Have fun, and goodbye.